Hi everybody, my name's Steve and I'm just going to run you through my Metallica vinyl collection. There's some stuff in there that I don't know much about, so any comments or any information you can put in the comments, please do that. That'd be really useful to me. I'll try and give you a bit of variety and a bit of information as to how I got hold of the records, when I bought them, etc. And hopefully if you're a Metallica fan and you like your vinyl, you'll like this video. So here we go. I'm going to do it chronologically as the records came out. And generally that's how I came to have the record. So I first sort of heard of Metallica probably the early 1987. So Puppets had sort of come and gone, but a few of my friends were listening to it. So we all got into that and we were eagerly awaiting the next release, which happened to be the $5.98 EP. So we were sort of starved of new releases, obviously pre-internet, pre-phones. And no music videos, of course, from Metallica at those in that day. So all we could hear what was on the radio. And for us in the UK here, that was Tommy Vance's Friday Night Rock Show. So we'd get the occasional snippet of Metallica tunes. So what we used to do, me and my mates, we'd head off to record fairs and try and find old previous records and buy them all, get the collection going. And this is how most of these records came to be. So we'll start off with one which isn't an official release. I picked it up from a record fair, I think around about in the late 80s sometime. I saw it, didn't know what it was, but I bought it. It didn't cost me very much money. So it's it's this little one here. So it's a bootleg. It's from Bong Water Records, 1987. And it's got a couple of the tracks from the No Life Till Leather sessions on it. Yeah, that's the front of it there, quite a nice little front, and that's the reverse. And this one, what I've read online since is there was 1,000 copies of these produced in 4 different colours, and there's 250 of each colour. So obviously this is the orange one here. So we've got Let It Loose on one side and Killing Time on the other side. And this one is numbered 894. So I'm taking from that the oranges went from 750 to 1,000. So don't see these come online very often on eBay. Discogs has got a little bit of a commentary on them. So again, any information that anyone can give, that would be great, about Bong Water Records, for example. Just pop it in the comments. I'd be really pleased to hear about that one. So I think chronologically it's the first recording. Obviously it came out in 87. So Kill 'Em All. Here we go. So all these records are in really good condition. I've had them in plastic sleeves for getting on for 40 years now. Played to death, but not manhandled to death. So this is in the UK here, they were all released on Music for Nations, as opposed to your early ones in the States. If you're over there on Megaforce, as were Music for Nations. And this one here is obviously no barcoded, one of the early releases. Let's just have a look on the inside. It's got a nice printed inner sleeve on one side and all the lyrics on the other side. And there you go, so classic Music for Nations logo. Familiar to all us metalheads in the UK, that one. They were based in Soho in central London, which was the place to go to for your metal records and t-shirts and such like in that era. So that's Kill 'Em All. Then from the record, that came from probably a record fair. This one definitely came from a record fair. I remember buying this. So the picture disc of Kill 'Em All. You're going with the blue writing this time as opposed to the red on the record you've seen there. This is Music for Nations as well. Again, no barcode on this one. So a nice early one as well. Jump in the Fire, 12-inch. This is, again, UK release, Music for Nations. This is CV12 KUT 105. And this is the red vinyl version, I think, when we open it up. Yeah, there we go. So that's a lovely coloured vinyl there. Really good condition, that one. Do like that record, that's great. So just skip that one. We'll go to 2 more versions of the Jump in the Fire. So again, I think a lot of people are familiar with this one, which is the sort of 7-inch, plays as a 7-inch, so you can just see That's the sort of playing surface, which is 7-inch, but it's cut to shape, obviously slightly larger, 12-inch here and probably 10-inch around the side. But again, this is a UK one, no barcode. This is PKUT 105 as well. So no barcode on that one. You do see these pop up quite frequently on record sale sites and eBay and such like. Again, quite a nice one, that. Now this next one, this one came along a little bit later. They were all probably late 80s purchased. This one that I'm going to show you next, I know when I bought it, because I bought it when I was studying. I bought it in London in a record shop. Again, I didn't really understand what it was at the time, but I bought it. Quite a lot of money for a student. I think it cost me £20, and this was the early 90s. So it's the same record, same code, same barcode, but it hasn't been cut. So you can see there, the vinyl goes for the full 12 inches. So now I'm, again, looking on the internet recently or since then, it's a test pressing, I'm led to believe. And I don't know how many of them were pressed, how many still out there, how many, I haven't seen any come up for sale really. There's not a lot of information about them. So if anyone can let me know, if they know how many of these things were produced, how rare they are, what they're worth, I'd be grateful. I mean, this one cost me 20 quid in 1992 probably. So I don't know what it's worth now, but again, I think this is one of the ones I took a bit of a punt on, thinking it was probably unusual just the way, because it didn't look right. And I think it turns out it was, so I'm pleased I took the plunge for that one. That's probably a week's worth of shopping back in early 90s. So the last one from Kill 'Em All, this is Whiplash. So this is imported from America. So this is a Megaforce record. This is the only Megaforce labelled record vinyl I've got from Metallica, but I'm glad I've got it because I do really like the Megaforce label, which I'll show you in a moment. So this one came from a record shop. I remember seeing this and buying this in a record shop in town. Again, we're all familiar with the fronts and the backs. We're all familiar, if you like Metallica, with this remix, neck brace remix, which is barely any different to the original version. So I'll just get that one out. So standard black vinyl, but I really love the basic nature of that Megaforce label. Just silver, very small, and a classic Metallica logo on there. Really nice. Jump in the Fire Whiplash on side A, and side B is Seek and Destroy and Phantom Lord. Because over in the UK these were quite rare, so I was quite pleased I got hold of that one. But I imagine there's quite a few of them knocking around in the States. Ride the Lightning. So again, really good condition. Cardboard sleeve there. Early pressing, Music for Nations. No barcode on this one either, and this one has got the spelling mistake for whom the bell tolls. So as you can see, it says for whom the bells toll. So they've got the S on the wrong word. Getting a nice picture sleeve, and as was the way back then, you get all the lyrics on the other side, so you can sing along. Nice one, that. This was our only exposure to the music back then. Couldn't get it any other way. And then the picture disc, the matching picture disc, again, Music for Nations, no barcode, and this one's got the spelling mistake as well, the bells toll. These are all, I mean, the picture discs have never been played really, because I have the final standard editions. So springing out of Ride the Lightning, obviously we had the Creeping Death singles. This one here, this is Music for Nations as well. This one's now got a barcode. So what's the date on this one? It doesn't tell us on there. It's probably on the records. I think this is blue vinyl. Yeah, here we go. It's 1984, this one. Lovely blue vinyl, if you can see that through the light. Really nice. Really good. And then the classic, as we know, we've seen this one quite a lot on the internet, people selling these, the gold special anniversary edition, you know, the Music for Nations. It's worth getting out because it's a lovely looking thing, this one. So this one would have been got at a record fair sometime mid-80s. Because of the nature of, you know, the heavier side of music in the mid-80s, the record, you know, Metallica were fairly unknown. So seeing these kind of records is very common at record fairs, and you could pick them up. Obviously nowadays you don't see them anywhere in any record fairs really, unless they're a specialist record fair. But back then you would see them quite a lot. So just whether you had the money or not as a kid to buy them. So you'd probably get one every couple of months. You'd have enough money to go and get one, and you'd hope you can get them all before they sort of entered into everybody's private collections. Standard Creep and Death picture disc. Very nice, but yeah, not as nice as the other two, I don't think, the blue and the gold. Then we come to obviously the record that changed most people's lives into this sort of music at my age. We were just playing this record to death when it came out. It just stood head and shoulders above everything else. This one's a Music for Nations MFN 60. You see there's no barcode on there. Okay, classic lyrics one side, a few band photos the other side. I'm surprised there's any grooves left on this one, the amount I've played it in back in the day. Copyright 1986. What a lovely thing that is. I always wanted the gatefold version because my friend had that, which was again similar at the time, but just gatefolded. Never managed to get it. Thought about getting it on eBay since, but again, never really got around to it. This one comes with again, quite nice, which I've kept hold of, is the little merch sleeve. You can see there. So if you wanted to buy the t-shirt, it would cost you £5, and the sweatshirt, the princely sum of £9.50. How times change, eh? That picture disc, again, non-barcoded, Music for Nations. I picked this one up a little bit later off of eBay just to sort of complete the Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets picture disc collection. So that's just a nice little thing. I couldn't really resist buying that once I'd grown up and got myself a proper job. So between Puppets and Justice, which was the first real album that we could get our hands on, obviously there was the $5 98 EP released in '87. So in the UK, because of the laws regarding EPs, ours only had 4 tracks on it, you see here. So we had to wait for the Wait, which was on the American one, which we eventually got hold of when we could get hold of the imported version. So I've got 2 of these, exactly the same, bulk standard, black vinyl, but one's got the Wait on it and one hasn't. But again, played to death, these things. You know, you read about them in Kerrang magazine that it was coming out, and yeah, couldn't wait to get hold of it. A couple of those. So Justice. So again, we were all waiting for that to come out. I think Harvester of Sorrow was the first single from that. So I've got 2 Harvester of Sorrow vinyls. This is the one I bought myself, and I remember pretty much when I bought it. I bought it in Southend. I went there on a day trip with my mate. We went on the bus. I don't think he bought a record, but I went into the record store. This had just come out that day, I think, so I snaffled it, got a copy of it, and brought it home on the bus. Nothing special about this release. It's just that we'd all been waiting for some vinyl releases. So there we go. And I've got this little one as well, 7-inch Harvester of Sorrow. This is a radio-only promo, not for resale. So it's Met DJ2, if you can see that. So moved off Music for Nations in the UK now, and they're onto Vertigo record label, which is part of Phonogram. It's that, and this one here as well. So that's the little radio DJ. So times were changing. Heavier rock music was getting some rotation on the radios, obviously. And you can see there, look, sides A and B is the same. But I do like that. I like the cover. It's nice. And then again, another watershed moment for Metallica fans back in the day was the first video, which of course was One. I remember that going on the video screens in a music store and people just stopping and watching it. I was one of those, so probably had a little bit more money then, so I got a little bit older, probably got myself a job. So rather than buying one copy of One, which would have been sensible, I seem to have ended up with, well, 5, I think. So I've got this one here, which is, I think, an American import version. So this is Electra, so it's got the Prince and One, but it's got a larger hole, maybe for a jukebox, I'm not sure, but that probably just picked that up at a record fair because it was different to the UK version. Then I've got this version, the UK version, which has got Seek and Destroy Live on the back, and this one came with a free poster, which unfortunately I unfolded it and probably stuck it on my wall, and I don't know where it is now. And then there was the 12-inch, which gave us another couple of live tracks, which you have to remember we didn't have in those days. You couldn't get hold of this sort of stuff, so if it came on a record, you had to get the record to hear it. So this one had For Whom the Bell Tolls live and Welcome Home Sanitarium live as well. Just bulk standard vinyl, that one. And then it's quite like this one. This was you don't get these too often. This is a 10-inch picture disc here in the UK. So this one's got Seek and Destroy only on the back, but I do like the fact it's got a little backing card there with Metallica sticking out over the top, and it's just a lovely little 10-inch. They're really nice. Don't see them very often at all. And then on the back here, it's got a nice live picture of the Justice stage set with I can't remember what the Justice lady was called. Was it Doris or Edna or something like that? So, and this, I'm not sure when this actually came out, but they toured the UK in '88, and the stage show looked just like that. So we managed to get tickets. 3 of my mates and myself went down to London to see them on the 10th of October 1988. And we've been waiting for pretty much a year and a half for that moment, so it was fantastic. Good memories of that. And then I think because they were gathering some steam at the time, they kept pumping out various different versions. So this one is One as well, completely black cover, collector's edition gatefold sleeve. Just if you can make that out with the plastic cover on it, it's sort of got a bit like the Black Album. It's got Metallica written here, but just in a different shade of black, really. And then when you open it up, it's got quite a nice little gatefold booklet inside it. There's some live photos as well. And I think the vinyl is just a standard vinyl, but let's just double check that. It's been a while since I've had a look in here. Yeah, just standard vinyl. So. Don't remember buying some of these. They were coming thick and fast in the late 80s. This next one I think is reasonably rare. So this is the Eye of the Beholder 12-inch promo copy. So both sides of it here, you can see both sides play Eye of the Beholder. Let's get that one out here. So quite a nice label there. Got the nice font on both for the actual name of the song as well, Eye of the Beholder. Same for both sides. This one is AJFA112 for anyone that tracks that kind of thing. It says promotion only on the back and promotion only, not for sale on the record. So I was quite pleased to find that one and get hold of that. Again, no idea how many of those would likely have been pressed, but if you've got an idea, please pop it in the old comments. It'd be useful to know. But again, the condition of this is amazing, considering it is probably getting on for 38 years old. It looks like it's just come out of the factory. There's not a mark on it. And then obviously Justice itself. Feels like a gatefold, but it's not. It's because they released it with 2 vinyls. So there's one, and there's the other. So we had classic band photo, a few thanks, and then on the other one, all the lyrics. So they even a little bit of advertising, a little bit of endorsement there of what instruments they all played, ESP and Remo and Tamar drums and all the rest of it down there. And the other thing I do remember about buying this from the record shop is that for some reason they had loads of these inner sleeves spare. Whether they were expecting to buy more, I don't know, but they were just giving them away. So bizarrely, I've got 2 inner sleeves with nothing in them, and always have done. Can't remember for the life of me why that came about. Bit odd, bit odd. But I do remember there had been quite a lot of promotion for this album. I think people were waiting for it on the back of puppets and what have you. So that was that. So bootleg wise, I bought this one, The Unstoppable Force, which was the last show of the 86-87 World Tour, so the Puppets World Tour in Gothenburg. It also featured Jason, one of his earlier gigs. It is a double vinyl. Mon Dieu Records, 1987. Again, just a good way of finding and listening to live music which you wanted to hear but had no other way of hearing. So yeah, that was reasonably well known at the time, but probably just forgotten about now, really, that record. Interview pitch disc, quite a big thing as well back in the day at the record fairs. So this is the Metallica one. Just a couple of images. No idea what they talk about. Probably played it once and that was enough, really. I mean, there's good BAK 2001 all the way to 2094. All the different interview discs there are here. So Metallica there at 2066, but there's loads you could buy of this variety back in the day. And then I got hold of I bought the 6.5 year anniversary collection as well. Tried to keep it in reasonably concerned. Still got the shrink wrapped on it, although it was opened. What else is it? What we got in here? So I think I kept the posters intact. Yeah, here we go. That one never made it onto the wall. I think I'd grown up a bit by then. And that had in it, again, all the records I'd already got, but I just bought them again. So it's got Jump in the Fire, Creeping Death, 598 EP, Harvester of Sorrow, and One. Put that back in there. It's quite a heavy one, that one. So that's all the vinyl. I sort of stopped buying the vinyl then. I didn't carry on through the load years or any further than that. I still listen to the music, but it sort of switched to CD. So I've got a few little CDs of interest. So this one here was they played the Wembley Stadium Freddie Mercury tribute in 1992, and these were released for sort of charity. But again, I didn't really see it anywhere, and I just saw it in a record fair and thought, I don't remember seeing that anywhere. And I just kind of like the ad hoc nature of it, obviously made to look rough and ready. So that's got Sandman, Sad But True, and Nothing Else Matters. I think they opened the show with those three. So that's quite nice. Just a little cardboard sleeve of Harvester of Sorrow. Again, hard to get out when they're on the cardboard sleeves. Again, quite rare. Not rare, but you didn't really see many cardboard sleeves back in the day, so that's quite nice. And then this one I do like, which was I think if you're over in the States watching this, it's probably very familiar to you, but in the UK it was Alien. So you can buy you used to be able to buy your CDs like this, I believe, with sort of mini CDs. So they've got a nice box, obviously you get the full artwork. It's not in bad condition considering it's quite hard to store because of its height and it's quite fragile. So it's got one and the print on it, but it's the little CD, which I think is really cute. So there you go. Tiny little thing, and if you get it out, it kind of even cuter really. But again, if these are really common and everyone's got them in America or wherever, then fair play. But over here, very hard to come by and to see, so just had to get it really. Nice little thing. That's that. And then when the Metallica album came out, the Black Album, obviously they were quite heavy on the singles, and when the first one came out, Sandman, if you bought the Picture Discs CD single, which I'll show you in a moment, where I bought it from, I think I was in London at the time, gave you this box with it, and in the box it's got 2 drawers, 4 slots, and if you bought all 4 CD singles with the picture disc on it, it spelt out Metallica. And again, I don't see these crop up too often, so I think if you missed the first one with Sandman, you didn't get the box, so then you couldn't really put it all together. But I was fortunate enough to just accidentally get the box, and then obviously I was kind of tied into buying the rest. So I'll show you what it looks like. Just a couple of cardboard drawers here, and there's the little logo on it. What's it say on there? Use this box to collect 4 Metallica picture CDs. So I did. So here you go. It might be a bit hard to see, but I'll sort of hold that up there. So if you can see that there. So we've got Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, and Wherever I May Roam. Loosely spelling Metallica. So that's quite cool. So again, don't know how rare they were, if anyone's got any information on that, or whether there was loads of those knocking around, or whether it was a sort of an idea that came and went pretty quickly. That cassettes. Official cassettes. I've only got one, and it's this Eye of the Beholder, and I think this is an imported one. Yeah, it says it's got an import sticker on the back. So I'm not sure I've even played this, but again, just liked it and thought I'd get hold of that. Got no means of playing it anymore, so yeah, it's an Electra Eye of the Beholder cassette, which is quite cool. Nothing, doesn't say anything else on here really of any particular interest. It's got Bread Fan on the B side. I'll get that back in the box. So that's quite nice. Sort of similar to that really, sort of a bit different. And then again in the UK, I don't know if it's like anywhere else, but if you went to a gig, so we went to see the Hammersmith Odeon as it was then. The next record fair you went to, when you walked in the door, there was a guy and he had a big desk, fluorescent cassettes all over it, and he had live recordings of all the gigs that anyone might have been to. So the thing that we did then was, well, we had to buy the live recording of the gigs. So this is Hammersmith Odeon, 10th of October 1988, on 2 tapes. So, classic TDK D60, and then you see there someone's done a track listing of the concert, which is pretty cool. There's the other one. So that was that. Got hold of those. Not worth anything, but they're quite a nice bit of memorabilia for myself. And then again, a couple of years later, went to see them at Wembley Arena. Same thing there. And I think so this one here, they didn't, whoever, that's the dog, whoever was doing the track listing didn't know what the songs were, so I filled that in from my own memory. Whether that's true or not, who remembers now? It was a long time ago. So that's that really. The only other thing that, I guess before Excel and before computers, back in the day I wrote all of this down on a couple of sheets of paper here. Look, so I can tell you how much I paid for any of these records at the time, with all their rest of it. Okay, that's pretty cute, isn't it? I was well into it. Cool. All right, well, if you enjoyed that, like, share, comment please. Again, any information you've got on any of those records, just drop a comment in there. I'd be really pleased to know anything about them, and that would be great. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you again soon. Cheers. Bye.